Today, despite the remarkable progress of medical science, the number of people who are ill is increasing and new diseases and illnesses continue to make their appearance. Almost every family has previously experienced or is currently going through the pain and ordeal of an illness, and therefore it can be helpful to examine the causes of illness and how they may be faced spiritually, so that those who so suffer may reap some benefit for their souls. As we shall see, illness, whether it is due to sin or to some other cause, is a means by which the soul can be healed and purified. From the prologue. Hello again and welcome back to Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program on the internet. Woo, yeah, we're doing that. Hope Lent is, woo, you know what? No, Lent is Lenting. The whole world is Lenting right now. And so it seemed appropriate that we finally get around to Volume 5 of Hieromonk Gregorios' Spiritual Life series. This is Illness in the Believer, published by New Rome Press, originally in 2012. We'll get down to the details in a minute, but of course I have to do the usual opening stuff. First of all, huge thanks to my patrons. You know who you are, I know who you are, and you guys rock. I'd also like to thank the few people that have been donating through the tip jar. Greatly appreciated. Also, it's worth noting that on Patreon, there is exclusive content. There are daily reflections, scriptural readings, prayer services, and special reviews. So, if you want to get in on that good, head on over to Patreon and consider becoming one of the goys over there. And that's that. Enough with the shilling. I always feel weird talking about that stuff. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. So, Illness in the Believer, again, written by Hieromonk Gregorios. The original Greek came out in 2005, and then the subsequent first English edition came out in 2008, also published through the same skeet on Mount Athos, with the second edition and subsequent third edition coming out through New Rome Press, third edition, of course, with corrections and additions. No real notes on the translator for this one, but judging by who did the last few, I'm pretty sure we can make some good educated guesses. All right, so first and foremost, I gotta say, when I first started getting into this one, I really thought it would be geared more towards monastics, with kind of a hard mystical edge, and I was happily corrected on that one. So there's a few major sections in the book that we can go over here. First, obviously, he uses patristics in Scripture. Father explains how illness and disease entered the world as a product of our fallen nature and state, and not necessarily the fall itself. Illness is the result of sin, missing the mark, and falling short of our, I think he said original destiny is the way it was put, but just falling short of our divine nature. So not that, sin was part of the fall, but a result of the fall. So we have illness and divine discipline in, obviously, that goes over causes of illness. Illness and divine discipline, he points out three ways people get sick. So we have grief or stress, and then according to John Chrysostom, gluttony, drunkenness, idleness. And there are examples of people that have begged God for the affliction, some way to carry the cross. And this is not to discount, just catching a cold. This is just one way of approaching it from a Orthodox Christian perspective. Now, what was of great interest to me was the purpose and benefits of illness. Now, I kind of already had an idea of what was going on here. And you have to remember that purpose and benefits isn't looking for a cure. It's just what can be brought about by illness. And the two main points that I got from this was that God imparts illness for the health of the soul, and that's actually directly from St. Isaac the Syrian. And St. John Chrysostom goes on to explain that it's also a way of God revealing his love and charity to us through our struggle and how we keep our faith. Now, I say entirely too much. I'm really trying to break myself of that habit. Confronting illness spiritually, if you've read through to this point or have any grasp of the way we're supposed to look at life through the lens of Orthodox Christianity, is prayer and patience and gratitude. And again, this is not a cure. This is just how we deal with these things. And in just a few more words than I'm using, Hieromonk Gregorios lays it out beautifully, and as is always with his writing style, it's very uplifting and encouraging in his counsel. And then here, as soon as I turned to this page, I was like, here we go. This is where we're going to hit some wacky Athonite mysticism. But no, not at all. So practical. He is quite clear and cites a few biblical sources and patristic sources that doctors are instruments of God's will. Our faith in God and his works through men, that's where it is. So don't just sit around drinking holy water and not going to get your temperature taken. See a doctor. But it is God working through these medical professionals that cures us, if it be God's will. The section on divine consolation is just a few neat little stories of just that, divine consolation. But after the epilogue is one of my favorite parts, because as you know, I am a sucker for prayers and collections thereof. And so there's several prayers in here for the sick, some of which you may or may not have seen in other publications. But these are great translations. They always, New Rome, your translations, I love you. Prayers before operation, prayers for the terminally ill. There's something you don't see every day, and I think it's something that we should really have out there more. We're supposed to keep death in mind, So I think that's a good one. I'm going to be adding that to my prayer rule. Anyway, that's it. Best 7 and change you'll ever spend right there. Get the whole set, really do. I'd like to thank New Rome Press again for sending me these books for review. I wouldn't exactly consider that payment, but who knows when I would have gotten around to it. So I'm very, very grateful for their help in this, and I think it benefits me greatly that I've had this opportunity. At any rate, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to wash your hands. Don't cough on anyone. Practice that good social isolation that the government's been tossing at us. No, really, please, everyone, please take good care of yourself during the virus outbreak. And pray for me, and I will continue to pray for you. Here I go saying again. Links below, you know the deal. I love you all. Don't forget to go to church if you can. If not, I'll leave a link below for a monastery that's live streaming all their services. So in that way, go to church, say your prayers, and remember God. God bless you all. Thank you.